Hey everyone, welcome back. So today is Saturday. Got a kind of cool story for you guys. 7 wild rigs for Bitcoin mining. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at also Bitcoin, see what it's doing right now. And then we'll take a look at Bitcoin versus the miners for the week. See who did better than Bitcoin, who did worse than Bitcoin. So without further ado, you know the drill. This is not financial advice. I'm investing in the following companies and coins just for full disclosure. So let's take a look at the story here really quick, and then we'll get into Bitcoin and the Bitcoin versus miners part of it. So here we go. All right. So here's a story from CoinDesk. It is titled 7 Wild Bitcoin Mining Rigs. I thought this was kind of interesting. So there's actually a company that is using Bitcoin-powered miners to basically heat up their whiskey barrels. It says here, Sullivan, the founder of Mint Green, has used Bitcoin miners to heat his home for years. That got him thinking, what else could he heat with Bitcoin? It turns out the answer is whiskey. So Mint Green now has a partnership with Shelter Point Distillery, a Vancouver, British Columbia-based label that makes whiskey, vodka, and gin. Shelter Point likes to add a bit of heat to their barrels, which accelerates the whiskey's aging process. Starting in May, 8 S9 miners will sit in the rotating wheel, almost like a Ferris wheel. So we saw that picture up here of it, how it's going to look. You got the miners sitting in here, and then they're just rotating and basically spewing out heat as they generate some Bitcoin. So I thought that was kind of interesting that that's being used for that. So you're obviously creating heat, you're making money on top of it, but you still obviously pay the electric bill on it. But it does two things. You're heating up the place without having to use some other source, and you're making money on it. So that was kind of interesting in my point of view. Next one is the Bitcoin hot tub. So Jess Pelton had 3 S9 miners. He also had a hot tub. So what if he combined the chocolate of those ASICs with the peanut butter of the hot tub? Well, Pelton used the heat of the miners to raise the temperature of the water. And as a final flourish, he connected the system to a Wi-Fi so he could say, Alexa, turn the jets on, in a Twitter thread describing the project. So this was kind of also interesting how people are using to heat up. They're basically hot tubs. And there's another one here that does it for the pool as well. But there's ways, obviously, you can use Bitcoin to help in other ways, I guess. This is kind of fascinating to me. Next is Bitcoin goes nuclear. So we know TeraWulf is connecting to nuclear power plants to mine Bitcoin. So this was another one possibility. So coming soon to Berwick, Pennsylvania, a Bitcoin mine that's powered by nuclear energy. Talon Energy Corp, which owns a nuclear power plant, entered into a joint venture with a Bitcoin mining company called TeraWulf. So we know about this one. So this one isn't that interesting, but it's still a different way of looking at it instead of going for the regular hydro or solar or wind. These guys are doing it through nuclear. And this one was really interesting to me. Crypto tires. So think about the rubber tires that go on your cars. They often end up in landfills. Just here in America, there are 350 million waste tires a year that need to be disposed of. Said Jason Williams, co-founder of PRTI Inc. and creator of the Going Parabolic account on crypto Twitter. Williams said that 20% of these tires get illegally dumped in some environment, and that's not good. So he thought of a solution. He developed a patent that heats up a tire without burning it, turns it into gas, and then captures the gas stream and converts it to liquid fuel. That fuel becomes Bitcoin. So that was kind of interesting. So in North Carolina, the PRTI plant processes 1.2 million tires a year, according to Williams, and uses the energy to mine Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is very interesting that they're able to basically recycle the tires or somehow discard them the proper way, get gas from it somehow, and then mine Bitcoin with it. So, right, people are being very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very entrepreneurial and thinking beyond the regular norms. Next one is swimming and mining pools. So imagine if your pool is always nice and warm, and the warmer you keep your pool, the more money you make. Said a Minneapolis-based Bitcoin miner who goes by the alias CoinHeated. He has used a combination of S9s and S17s to heat both his home and his 17,000-gallon swimming pool, using brain software to tweak the power depending on the conditions of both the weather and the mining potential. Often it's on a low power setting to keep the pool warm but not too hot. But when China banned mining, for example, CoinHeated knew this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to crank up his miners and earn more Bitcoin, even if it meant the pool would heat to 115 degrees. Wow. Okay, that's pretty hot. I'm like, sorry kids, you can't swim right now. The pool is too hot. I've got a hash, so that's funny. So we're seeing that people are using it to obviously hot tubs, pools. And then we know about this one also, drill baby drill and mine Bitcoin. So when companies drill for oil, one of the byproducts is natural gas and can leak. Producing oil is similar to opening a can of pop, said Steve Barber, founder of Upstream Data. There's a lot of gas and solution that breaks out. A pop can foams over, and so do the oil wells. So we've seen this with companies like Exxon doing it. I think some of the other ones are, Compute North is also plugging into these types of gas flares from the gasoline mining, oil mining companies. So that's nothing new here. And then we obviously have the last one here is Volcanic Bitcoin. This is potentially the wildest rig in history. El Salvador's Bitcoin happy president Nayib Bukele announced in that its Conchango volcano, which emits geothermal energy, would soon power Bitcoin mine. So we're seeing a lot of weird things being used for Bitcoin mining and to help offset other things. So I thought it was kind of interesting just on a Saturday. Nothing too pressing, nothing too detailed, but just kind of cool ways you can use Bitcoin miners for. All right, so let's get into Bitcoin here really quick, and then we'll take a look at the miners, see how they compare to it. So Bitcoin right now is at 44,833. It is up a little bit. We're looking at the 1 hour chart here. RSI has come down. Obviously, we were down to about 45. We're back up to 55 right now. And if we still look at the RSI here, and then even if we go back to here, we were at 77. Price was way higher. We were closer to 45,000. We are obviously down in price, but we're also down in the RSI. But if we look at it from here to this point here, we can see that the RSI was around 73. Price was around 44. So we're higher in price, lower in RSI, which is a good sign. We've obviously also had the cross on the 15 and 20-day moving averages, which is good. So this is kind of leading to a little mini bull run. We'll see how long it can last, but I think we can definitely get higher. Right now, our resistance is going to be at 44,700. We'll see if we can stay above it. We've touched it plenty of times before. If we look at even on the 4 hour chart here, we've touched it plenty of times back here, back in beginning of March. We did it again in beginning of February, and we're obviously doing it now at the end of March here. So we'll see how this will play out going forward. And you can see obviously here on the 50-day, 20-day moving averages have crossed. So that's also good news there. On the 4 hour chart, we can see that the RSI has come down as well. And even looking at it here, on the 22nd of March, we were at around 43,000 on the RSI. And then back here, we were obviously higher at around 44. So $1,000 increase while the RSI stayed pretty much the same. It did dip here and then go back up, obviously, but we're doing much better here. So we'll see how this trend continues on. Ethereum was also up as well. It is following suit with Bitcoin. It is battling now with the 200-day moving average. I believe the blue line here is. So we'll see how this plays out going forward, but we're obviously got plenty of room to run further up, I think. And we also had the cross here on the 50-day and the 20-day averages just recently within the last couple hours. So that is also a bullish sign in my opinion right now. So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's take a look at the miners versus Bitcoin. So Bitcoin finished out the week pretty strongly. It was up 6.09% on Friday. So I track it Friday to Friday. Same thing with the miners. And so Bitcoin was up 6.9%. It was up $2,547 on the week, which is great. Argo was up 9%, 8 cents. Bitfarms was actually down, surprisingly, 3.87%. Down 15 cents. Cleanspark was up 6.02% on the week, 72 cents up. Core Scientific was down 3.04%, down 27 cents. Digihost was up the most, it looks like right now, 21.75% on the week. It was up 62 cents to a price of $3.47. DMG was up 9.07%. It was up only 4 cents, looks like, up to 48 cents. And then we have Hive was up 4.43%, up 9 cents on the week to $2.12. Hut was up 2.25% on the week, up 13 cents to $5.90 here. And then we got Iris Energy was up 9.26, up $1.22 on the week to $14.39. And then Marathon was up 3.47, up 97 cents to $28.89. And Mawson was up 5.65 on the week to, or 27 cents to $5.05. And Riot was up 6.3%, $1.23 up to $20.76. So looking at the chart here, looks like everybody, for the most part, did pretty much, well, I wouldn't say everybody. I would say some have done better. So let's take a look at it here on the weekly chart, and we'll go descending. So 21%, obviously Digihost did the best. So we got Iris Energy was up 9.26. We'll look at it here as well on the weekly chart. So Digihost did the best, 21.75. Iris was up 9.27. DMG 9. Argo 9. Riot was up 6.3. Bitcoin was up 6.09. And then the ones that Cleanspark, I would say, is pretty close to it, almost break even with Bitcoin. 6%. Mawson only up 5.65. Hive, Marathon, Hut, Core Scientific, Bitfarms obviously did worse than Bitcoin for the week. And if we look at the 4-week chart here, see who did the best on that. Descending. Mawson is actually up 51%, so that's huge here. So let's take a look at the numbers down here on the chart on the 4-week. So Mawson has really done well in the last 4 weeks, 51%. Had you bought it 4 weeks ago? Riot is up 39%. Cleanspark is up 35%. Argo is 33%. Or Core Scientific is up 33%. Argo is 27%. Marathon is 26%. Hive is 19%. Bitcoin is up only 13% in the 4 weeks. Hut 8 is up 10%. Digihost 8.4%. Bitfarms 8.4%. And then Iris is actually down, and so is DMG on the 4 weeks. So a lot of companies did a lot better than Bitcoin for the 4 weeks. Some have done worse, obviously. But Mawson was obviously the leader here. Had you bought it 4 weeks ago? Let's take a look at the 8-week chart here as well. Descending, and we can see here on the chart that Cleanspark has done the best for 8 weeks. So had you bought 8 weeks ago, you'd be up 85% in Cleanspark. Riot was 25%. Marathon was 22%. Iris is up 9.4%. Bitcoin's only up 6.8%. And then the Hive is up 6%. And DMG is only up 1.26%. And then the following guys, you'd be actually at a loss. So Bitfarms, Mawson, Argo, Core Scientific, Cut 8, and Digihost, you would be at a loss right now. And lastly, let's take a look at the 12-week chart. Descending, and we can see here on the chart that Cleanspark, even if you bought it 12 weeks ago, you'd be still up 55%, 20% in Iris. Bitcoin, you'd be up 6.72%, and then everybody else, you would be up a little bit on Riot, Marathon, but everybody else, you would be down. Worst performing would be DMG on the 12 weeks had you bought back then. Surprisingly, obviously, Cleanspark has done the best in the 12 weeks, 8 weeks, and then 4 weeks was Mawson, right? So Mawson did the best on that part. So let's take a look at all the miners here in a row. We can see Bitcoin has had the last 2 weeks were in the green. We had 4 weeks in the red, 3 weeks in the green, and then we had a divided weeks here. Argo has had, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks in the green, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks in the red. Surprisingly, Bitfarms looks like it's going to be kind of split. Excuse me. They've been in the green 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the red. Cleanspark, you can clearly see they've been in the green for most of the time here, except for 1 week here. So they've almost been in the green for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. They've been in the green, which is really good by them. Core is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 and 7 weeks in the red. Digihost is kind of split as well. DMG split. Hive seems to be a little bit like a split as well. Hut, same thing. Surprisingly, that Hut and Hive are also trading similarly here. We're seeing same green weeks, same red weeks. Who else has that kind of pattern here? It looks like almost like Marathon would have almost, they were off on 1 week here. So Iris, Riot. Riot also kind of looks similar to the way that Hive and Hut 8 have been trading. So interesting to see. Obviously, the best performing one right now, it looks like, is Cleanspark, at least in the recent time frames, 8 to 12 weeks, even recently. I mean, last week was up 20%, so was Core, was up 18%. So we're seeing a lot of, obviously, miners do pretty well. Some obviously aren't doing so well, so we'll see how this plays out going into this week. We obviously have the end of the month coming up here, so we'll see where Bitcoin ends up on that. We have a couple companies providing The financials reports, I believe a couple companies are doing it on Monday, and then we got Core doing it on Tuesday. So we'll see what those results are, and then we'll take a look at my numbers, see how they match up as well. But that's all I got for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the little story on the 7 different ways you can mine Bitcoin and do something else with it, heating up your pool, your hot tub, whatever it might be, heating up your cellar if you have a whiskey distillery or something. So I thought it was kind of interesting. Let me know what your thought of that was. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye.